Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit PictureThisPhotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance makes you laugh and cry at the same time? What a gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit PictureThisPhotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today, and check out the great merchandise at themikewagnershow.com and also on Amazon.com at the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, and more. Makes great gifts 24/7, 365 for your family, friends, and loved ones. Also, check out the Me and Molson Zia store on Amazon for great books like T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and all kinds of great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Go to Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia. Make sure you order it today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, as well as PayPal at the Mike Wagner Show or Mike Wagner Voiceover. And also support us at the MikeWagnerShow.com and make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who created conceptual art that explores the modern mass media and, of course, beliefs and the nature of art for the last 40 years. And he's a strong believer of nihilism. And he's been involved with the A4 Nihilist Olympics, the Film Fest, and also the Nihilist Party, Nihilist campaigns, and also for president, Nihilist County, sheriff, governor. He supported everything under the Nihilist party as well, and also the Nihilist 99 Expo, and also the Nihilist Corner TV show. We'll talk more about that. And he's got a brand new book that tells the story of growing up in Los Angeles in the 60s and 70s. It was rebellious, but it was also fun and very artistic. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, the amazing, the really nihilistic, and just one of the best out there, author of L.A. Freak, Elisha Shapiro. Elisha, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
It's nice to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. And you did a wonderful job over the last 40 years of creating conceptual art that explores the modern mass media, as well as beliefs and the nature of art. And you're also a strong believer of nihilism. We'll talk more about that. You're involved in the 84 Nihilistic Olympics, the Nihilist Film Fest, the Nihilist Party, the Nihilist campaigns, and for president as well, too. And won, by, of course, by Ronald Reagan. He did get some votes, and also ran for Nihilist County, sheriff, and governor, involved in 99 Expo. And you also have a TV show as well called Nihilist Corner. And you also got a book called L.A. Freak, talking about the story of growing up in Los Angeles. And before we get into all that, just first of all, before we got started, exactly what is nihilism in your terms?
Okay. So people mean different things when they say, I say nihilist because it sounds friendly.
Nihilist. Okay. Got it.
Nihilist or nihilist, either one is acceptable. It's basically, I don't believe in anything, but it's, people use it as an insult. There's a story about when I first thought about maybe I'm a nihilist. Some teenager who worked for me said, "Oh, I heard somebody say nihilist, call somebody a nihilist." And she was asking me to explain it in the 70s. And then I thought it was funny that it was an insult back then. It might still be an insult. But it just means, it was being used as that person believes in something that I do not believe in. But that's not really it. It's like, we have belief systems and religions and morality and world views, and nihilists like me thinks, well, all that stuff is made up, and if you like it, fine, but I don't really like any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you first, coming into encountering nihilism or nihilism, and how'd you first embrace it and accept it, and what was the reason behind it?
Well, I'm not sure there's a reason behind becoming a nihilist. I mean, I've always been kind of an oddball kid growing up, and the book kind of talks about that a little bit, about somehow, and I was just thinking about this actually yesterday. A lot of times beliefs are about being in a tribe, and we humans are tribe people. And if you belong to a certain tribe, you have to believe in the things that they believe in the tribe. And for some reason, as a kid, I was a weird kid who didn't really care about being in anyone's tribe. And so all of a sudden, I just thought, these people all believe this crap, and these people believe that. I don't have to believe that. That's kind of even as a teenager, I was thinking, I'm not going to go along with that stuff. So that's kind of, I'm not sure I was inspired to reject belief at certain points. I mean, when I was very young, I'd say, oh, what does God want me to do? And then I didn't really care. And then somebody's parents said, well, what if there is no God? And I said, that would be fine. Thank you.
Makes me think of that Bob Dylan song where you got to serve somebody. If you're not going to serve nobody, you got to serve somebody. That's what makes me think of that Bob Dylan song.
Well, I guess we can just serve our own aesthetics is what I kind of come down for me. I do things because they're fun, or I do things because I think, I like writing. I like telling stories if they're fun stories. Anyway, I'm not quite sure I answered your question, but that's what comes to mind when you ask that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good starting point as well, too. And of course, let's talk about how you first got started. We just want to clear up the whole thing about nihilism or nihilism. So we'll have it in interpretation. And, let's get to the part about, tell us how you exactly first got started, like with creating art and being, believer, and also your book and some other works as well, and getting involved in all these parties we mentioned.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think a lot of it has to be around humor for me. And I remember when I first started saying, oh, well, everyone hates nihilists. I'm going to be like a public nihilist. I'm going to say, I am a nihilist. Fine. I don't care. And that was funny for me. I mean, it first started with, I don't know, what year was that? 1975 or 6 or something, when all of a sudden there was answering machines. And I bought an answering machine and I left a message on the machine saying, thank you for calling Nihilist Industries. I don't come right now, but leave a message. Maybe we'll get back. Anyway, I still have a similar message on my phone. Anyway, I just thought it was funny just because I'd say, just proclaiming publicly. And I guess, I mean, me and my friends, I was hanging around kind of artsy LA kids, who were kind of like me. And, one of them, was kind of part of the LA performance art world, and kind of sucked me into that a little bit. And I got to meet a lot of performance art people. And also, I mean, I guess I kind of interacted with a few people who did conceptual art, or people were doing media events, and I'd look at the media and I'd see people kind of staging publicity events. And so in 1980, an article comes out in the LA Times saying the International Olympic Committee announces that LA is going to be the location for the 1984 Olympics. And everyone in LA was freaking out because they were thinking, oh, we won't be able to park. Traffic will be terrible. It'll be this or that.
And the Russians are coming. Oh, my God.
It'll be a mess. It'll interrupt my tea time or whatever it is. And I was hanging around with my artsy friends. And we started, just for no reason at all, just saying, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we had a decathlon of housework? Or wouldn't it be funny if instead of some kind of relay race, we had a freeway relay race? And then we said, let's do a U-turn competition. That's the best. And the U-turn competition and the decathlon of housework were the most popular events. So at the time, I was, my job was just ending. I just switching jobs, but I had been working as a press release writer for Englewood Parks and Recreation. And so I knew how to write press releases. I knew I had a list of press contacts. So I wrote out a press release saying the Nihilist Olympic Organizing Committee announces that LA has been chosen as a site for the 1984 Nihilist Olympics. And then I listed the hilarious events that my friends and I had come up with. And I thought that was it, maybe something would happen. And of course, like within a few weeks, the LA Times is banging on my door and wants to do an article. And so I started realizing that I thought the media was like central to the way, even back then, but even more now, I guess, the way people perceive reality. You know, they read the Times or they watch the TV news, and that's like shapes what you're supposed to be like and what you're supposed to believe in and what's going on, And I thought, wouldn't it be funny from a nihilist point of view if I kind of co-opted that? And while people were reading about, this preacher did that and this politician did that, they read something about like a bunch of nihilists doing a crazy thing like Olympics. And I thought that would kind of like challenge people. It was like, so I thought, okay, I'm not really a performance artist, but maybe this is my medium of like staging events and having them kind of covered in the media and people seeing them in that same context. And I thought it would make people think a little bit. I think basically, I don't think people think about what they believe in or why. And so I thought it would be fun just to challenge them like that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe think about the Nihilist Olympics. And as I was thinking about parallel parking. It's like, do you think there'd be a lot of competition for parallel parking, 3-point turns, or anything like that? So it's like, highway shootings are pretty much banned. Why just settle by who can park better? It's like, I can park better than you, jackass.
Anyway, when the Olympics were about to start, the LA Times, a bunch of people, a lot of coverage, much more than I expected. But the Times wrote an article, and in the article it said, we went to the Los Angeles Police Department and talked to their spokesman and said, have you heard about this U-turn competition that the Nihilist Olympics is going to have? And the article said, the spokesman laughed and then got really serious and said, you shouldn't play in the traffic like that.
Oh, my goodness. They take their job way too seriously. Oh, man. It's like they probably didn't have enough coffee or donuts that day or something, or there was no chocolate donuts. It's like they were crabby, I'm sure.
Anyway, I did make them laugh. That's what matters.
We're also talking about some of the other events you got involved in, like the Nihilist Film Fest, the Nihilist Party, the Nihilist campaigns, president, county sheriff, the expo, and the list goes on and more. And are we going to believe it or not? We'll find out in just 1 minute if you want to believe. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. You can believe it or not. Or powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Dia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Dia. Available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Dia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Dia. Available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift from remembrance that makes you laugh and cry at the same time? Whatever you get for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first project. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. And check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at the Mike Wagner Show. Check out the great merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com and also on Amazon.com at the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia. Check out the Me and Molson Zia store. Great books like Missing, Once, Wrinkles, and great merchandise like more t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and everything else. Also support us on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with the author of his brand new book, LA Freak, Elisha Shapiro here on the Mike Wagner Show. He's part of the Nihilist Party. And, believe it or not, you can believe nihilism. You can not believe it. You can believe it's missing or not missing. If you're listening to the Mike Wagner Show or you're not listening to the Mike Wagner Show, he's a strong believer in it. And we talk about the Nihilist Olympics. And also you're involved in Nihilist Film Fest, Nihilist Party, Nihilist campaigns. You ran for president, county, sheriff, governor. You're also in the 99 Expo as well, too. You have your own TV show. It's like, your involvement is just endless, believe it or not. Literally, believe it or not.
Yes, I guess. Yes. Well, that's what happens if you're old like me.
But believe it, I'm old. Believe I'm young. It's like, who are you to believe? Do we believe it or not? Question Ripley on that one.
So in 1984, I finished the Olympics, and I thought that was pretty fun. And I guess then 1988. I'm not sure I'm going to get all the dates on this right. In 1988, a presidential campaign was happening. I think it was the first George Bush against some Dukakis or something. Anyway.
Yeah, Dukakis, that's the one.
And the person who was in charge of the LA Olympics said that he wanted to run for president.
Huh.
And so I thought, well, I should do it then. And I think the main thing that happened for the Nihilist presidential campaign was I had a Nihilist Party convention where I was selected by hundreds of people. I don't know where, I guess that's one of the reasons I love LA. I do these weird things, and apparently there are a lot of people who think that sounds like fun, and they participate in the Olympics, or they come and they do the Nihilist Party convention and elect me as the candidate from the. Anyway, so yes, I do have. Apparently, I have my tribe here in Los Angeles too. Anyway, so it was just a publicity, and I kind of came up with the nihilist version of a campaign, the platform, and I sent out press releases. I got some attention, and then that was over. And I couldn't figure out how many votes I got, because unless you're an official write-in candidate, they don't tell you that. So when I ran for governor against Schwarzenegger, I became an official write-in candidate, so they would actually count my votes. And I had a funny list of campaign things. The main thing from when I ran for governor, my main platform was secede from the United States. But me and I think somebody was. George Bush was the president, or George Bush Jr. And I said, we don't want to be part of that country. We want to be our own country. We would do so great. So anyway, that was my platform. And they actually counted my votes. And I got like 240 votes, which doesn't sound like a lot. But for a write-in candidate, the next write-in candidate below me got 10 votes. So apparently I did really well for a writer.
So you did better than Bart Simpson, Mickey Mouse, and Soupy Sales combined. I think there was somebody from the 60s that was running like an independent. You did very well than those three characters. Great job.
No. Anyway, so yes, I did. So, all the political things, the three campaigns were kind of about doing little public events and doing press releases and coming up with funny platforms, and to be in the media and maybe have fun events. And so, so somebody mentioned the other day, one of my platforms when I ran for governor was marriage for gays only. No more marriage for heterosexuals.
Oh, yeah. I think I was reading something about that, too, or it says totally opposite to what you're doing as well, too. That, what was it? Free college education. And, of course, we also talked about succession for the United States, marriage for gays only, and, talk about that. And the free college education, there's people that are still pushing it to this day. It's like, wow. It's like, I totally forgot about the free college education back then. It's like, where the heck was I back then? Eating too many jelly beans with Ronald Reagan's wife, Nancy. Oh, that's what you get when you have so many jelly beans, especially the black ones. Oh, my God.
Anyway, so, I mean, that was the political campaigns were kind of like, just another idea of these. I guess when I was younger, there was some comedian, Pat Paulson, I think.
Pat Paulson, I was just going to mention that because I was rattling off the names that you actually had more votes. And it's like, who was that other one? I thought it was Soupy Sales. He might have, but Pat Paulson came to mind. It's like, that was it. Thank you. Yeah. Pat Paulson's another one, but he probably had, what was it, 239, 241? It's like, oh, God, I lost count.
Anyway, but the idea of a comedian running for president, I think somewhere, as a kid, I'm thinking, that's interesting. And then as a young adult, I thought, okay, I will use this in my own way. So the idea of people running ironically suited me somehow.
And he also got defeated by all people, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm sure he beat everybody else too, but he says, I'll be back.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. I tried to pick elections where there was someone funny to run against. So Schwarzenegger was a good target for me to make fun of anyway.
I also thought about it too. If you lived in Minnesota, you would have went up against Jesse Ventura as well too. I think that would have been comical as well too, except probably body slam. Yes. So.
Yes, I considered wrestling Schwarzenegger, but I thought it would do pretty badly.
Well, of course, we're here as well too. We're glad you're in one piece. We're glad you have to go up against Schwarzenegger. I probably wouldn't do that. And you also had your own TV show called Nihilist Corner, and tell us about that.
Okay, so yeah, this was during the days when cable TV had public access. They stopped doing that. I don't know whether they stopped it everywhere, but in California, cable TVs don't need to have public access anymore. But I was like 12 years, once a month, I'd have someone on and talk, and half the time it was like some weird LA artist, and half the time it was like maybe someone who believed in something. I said, okay, I have a Republican candidate for something. Come on here and explain why you're a Republican and why you believe that stuff. So the idea, there was a period, several years, when I was thinking, people don't think about why they believe what they believe. So one of my pieces will be, make them tell me why they believe it. Or just show other people, two people discussing why one would or would not believe in X. And I just thought that would, just as the artist that I am, I thought, well, that would make people start maybe thinking a little bit and maybe just saying, why do I believe? And I would convince them not to believe anymore, but just the idea, because I think it's central that people don't think about it. Mm-hmm. They just accept what's handed to them by their tribe.
Mm-hmm. You also mentioned about having a show on public access TV. I'm thinking 2006. Perhaps that's where YouTube was suddenly kind of born as well, too. Nowadays, you don't need public access. You just have to get on YouTube and all the social media.
I know I do love YouTube. But anyway, I did just showing up at a studio once a month, sitting there, have 2 or 3 cameramen doing stuff, have a control room, and I could just sit there and talk and interview somebody and show a video. Anyway, apparently, in order for me to have a podcast now, I have to actually learn how to do switches, how electricity works.
Mm-hmm. And did you say you're going to have a podcast coming up as well too? Am I correct?
No, I've thought about it. It might be fun to do that one day, but I do not. I thought I considered it a few years ago, and I said, "Oh, this is too complicated. I'm busy doing other stuff."
Mm-hmm. And of course, you're also part of the world's worst acrobatic team as well, too. and of course, that'd be good for YouTube as well too. So, I mean, I could probably be worse than you. It's just like, oh, how worse can you go?
Yeah, I know. Living in LA, you have friends who are involved in the entertainment business. So yes, I did have a friend who said, "Oh, we're going to do this or this show or that show. We need an idiot to be one of the assistants." And so yes, I spent many years being a magician's assistant for my friend Larry Wilson. And we would do a lot of TV shows, and I'd be the stupid acrobat in the background who couldn't do a trick. So yes, I mean, and those are stories in my book. I don't know where my book is. I mean, talks about, oh, well, I'm just doing this. It wasn't my idea. And that's why I'm doing this, because it's fun to make people laugh and be on stage being silly. And during the course of that, I would meet a lot of interesting people and some people who were not so interesting. But I talk about people in my book who I met who were either nice or stupid, and a lot of the names you might recognize.
Oh, something? We're just going to talk about that, believe it or not, about LA Freak. I mean, I think we're reading minds today. So we're going to talk with Elisha Shapiro of LA Freak in just 1 minute. Believe us if you want to. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. We'll be back with the author Elisha Shapiro of LA Freak after this time out. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show. That's okay, I'm not looking to rain.
We're back with author Elisha Shapiro of LA Freak, and he's the career conceptual and also the strong believer of nihilism here on the Mike Wagner Show. And LA Freak is out right now, and tell us more about the book. You also mentioned some of the people in it and keep talking further about what inspired you to write LA Freak.
I'm saying that again.
I said what inspired you to talk about write about LA Freak. So talk more about the book and the people in it as well. And it looks like you're about to reach for the book too. So
I know my cat was trying to get in on the
Oh, you got a kitty. Perfect.
So I made him sit on the chair. Okay. The idea of why did I write this in the first place? It was fun. I've always kind of wanted to be a writer since I was a kid. And so I've been writing down these stories. And a few years ago, I discovered the LA alternative comedy scene, a lot of weird LA comedians. And then telling stories started to become a thing, right? The Moth and different story podcasts and shows. And so I had written down all these stories that I thought were funny things that happened to me. And so I thought, maybe I'll try and tell them in front of these audiences. And people seem to love my stories. So then I thought, that was just one of the things I was thinking about when I retired from my teaching job, and then COVID happened and I couldn't go out every other night to see a comedy show. I thought, I should go through all these stories I wrote and try to put together a fun book.
That sounds like a lot of fun too. And who are some of your favorite comedians growing up now that we mentioned it?
I've been thinking about the first one that comes to mind is Bobcat Goldthwait, because he was such a weird comedian, and I loved that goofy character he had.
Wasn't it one that set the chair on fire? Was it on the Tonight Show or some late night show? He set a chair on fire. Was that the one?
Sounds like it could have been him. That could have been what's his name,
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman,
yeah, he would do something similar too, like stage these fights and everything. When it turned out, it was fake, it was BS.
Then he'd be bleeding. But yeah, Andy Kaufman was pretty great. When I was younger, and I think I mentioned that in the book a little bit. I think my grandmother gave us a copy of 2,000-Year-Old Man by Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks.
Oh, yes. And it later became a movie, a comedy skit. Mel Brooks. I remember that. That was a classic. And that's what put him on the map, the 2,000-Year-Old Man. Boy, vey.
Anyway, I'm shoving my cat away.
That's okay. If you want to, show everybody, introduce your cat to the Mike Wagner Show, we can all say hello. So I don't know if he's still there or...
He might show his butt any minute now. He does this when he wants me to get up and feed him. But I will put that off. I think we have it.
It's okay. I mean, teach him how to wait. So, or throw a toy or something, make him chase a mouse or whatever. So,
yeah, I need a laser pointer. Growing up, those people I thought were hilarious. In the book, I kind of after I was involved in the art a long time, I started finding what we call the alt LA comedy scene, alt comedy. I think Rachel Bloom just made some comment about that online. Anyway, and so I would go to midnight shows. I mean, I love this town where I could get up and then I'd do a whole day, and then at midnight hop in the car and drive over to Upright Citizens Brigade or Steve Allen Theater or the Pack Theater or something like that, and see just people trying out the weirdest comedy you could imagine. And I just loved that stuff. And some of them kind of went on to become a little famous, because Rachel Bloom was one of them before she had her show. And she'd be up at the Upright Citizens Brigade at midnight singing a song called Fuck Me Ray Bradbury. Where she was like a nerdy high school girl who had a crush on Ray Bradbury and fantasized about fucking him. And so that was, I get to see that. I get to see and people who didn't become famous too, but a lot of what's his name? Anyway, I can't, the names don't even, but I'll see people's names on like Kristen Schaal. Her voice is everywhere. And people will be like writing credits and producing credits and all these people who I saw at midnight at these weird shows. So that was so much fun for me. I started thinking, a lot of people who are trying comedy and kind of going over the edge are doing a lot like what my performance art friends were doing. And so in the 2000s, I got somebody I know at a performance art venue and said, I'm going to do a comedy show here where I have comedy and performance art together. And because these people are doing really great stuff. And so I did that for a little while, but didn't take off. It was not that popular. But I did get to present these people to the art world a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And of course, talked about in your book with LA Freak about the comedians and everything else, maybe a bit more about the book. Of course, it's all part about you growing up in Los Angeles, 60s and 70s and, being artistic. And you talked about art. And there was one question I forgot to ask you. Who are some of your favorite artists growing up?
Well, I mean, Andy Warhol, of course. I would go see his movies, even though he didn't really make them, but he was responsible for them. So as a kid, I'd go see Warhol movies. And David, what's his name? My memory is not that great. The guy who who did Bad and had Divine and the Factory. And anyway, I'm confusing. But yeah,
I think we're getting the idea here, and I'm sure I'll pop up later on too. So,
John Waters was the genius.
Oh, John Waters. Yeah, that's what was he known for? Was it Is it Hairspray or something? Or Hairspray. That's the one. Yeah, I had Nikki Blonsky on the show too. She was in Hairspray. That is a major cult film, and actually spawned a lot of great people, including Ricky Lake and several others too. Of all,
I was the assistant manager at the New Art Theater in LA when we were playing that every, midnight shows of that. And I just loved the films that we showed there, the Warhol and John Waters films. But you weren't asking me about that. You were asking me about artists.
And we're talking about Andy Warhol, and I think you also were trying to think of one that did Bad and whatever else, and then I think we got into John Waters and everything else. But getting back to more of the artists and everything else, actually more defined you as well too. So
yeah, I mean, I like people who are kind of on the edge. And Banksy, I loved when I'd find there was a mural on the wall of that Banksy had snuck in and painted it. And, then I mentioned a couple of the art people who I knew. Michael McMillan is this great installation artist that is in LA. I don't know. Read the book. It's better than my memory. But there are, the visual artists. I mean, there were people who I admired and I went to shows, but, and then there was that whole period where there was like Devo and Talking Heads. And I mean, those are so great. And I had friends who said, you have to listen to these bands because they are art. So I got sucked into like kind of punk, early punk stuff and
punk, new wave, everything like that. Right. It's like I remember Devo pretty well too. And being a young, dumb, stupid teenager at the time, I tried the spiked hair, the cut shirts, and wearing that British flag or whatever it was, and I think I tried the mullet and everything. And oh my God, it's just like, and everybody was just trying it back then. LA was just sweeping through like crazy. Oh my gosh, it's like, and I was trying to think of a story too that I think I'm starting to draw a blank myself too. But in your book, LA Freak as well too, it's like you share all these stories. What was the most memorable story that really jumped out in front of you when you wrote LA Freak?
There's so many. I don't know. A lot of them are me meeting famous people and not caring. A lot of them are, I think a lot of it was, I mean, a big chunk in the beginning is my high school experience. And I remember I was in a public junior high, and I had a few friends who were hippies like me, and I did not really feel comfortable in that, social structure. And so I asked a couple of people if they knew of a private high school I could make my parents send me to. And some guy who I knew in my grade, whose father was in movies, he said, "Oh, I hear Oakwood's a great school." And so I told my parents, and then I hitchhiked over to the valley 20 miles away, and I found out about the school and met somebody who went there and told my parents to send me there. And my parents, I kind of guilted them into it, and they sent me. And all of a sudden I was surrounded by people who were more like me. And so I guess that was a lesson that if you're weird and don't fit into the normal tribes, you can kind of look around and maybe find people who are more like you. And I think that was kind of an important, fun thing for me. And I did meet some people who I'm still best friends with. That was 50 years ago, ish, maybe more. And I just met people who were like interested in art and culture, and anyway, I think that's kind of an important pivotal thing in the beginning of the book. I mean, I go on after that to my version of showbiz, and then my art life. But I think that was important in the beginning, just to see people my age doing, that's where, my best friend in high school said, "We have to go see the new Andy Warhol movie." Yeah, Andy Warhol's so great. I want to be like him. Anyway, so that's where I kind of started being aware of kind of the path I could follow.
Mm-hmm. And just one last thing before we wrap up here, and love to talk to you more as well too. Who was your favorite celebrity that you met as well too, especially when it was part of the book?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the book is kind of like, Cary Grant saw us do the magic show, and was kind of walking by me later and said, "Good job, boys." So I didn't really meet him. He just said one line to me, but that was nice. And he was like probably the most famous person. But there was all sorts of people, my neighbor was Leonard Cohen, and he was a nice neighbor, and there's stories with him, and I don't know and there's a couple of celebrities who were just assholes, and and there's some stories about them in the book. I'm not quite sure. Right now, it doesn't jump to mind like I met a celebrity that I was really delighted about meeting, but I found them ironic. I found the whole idea that the world kind of looked at LA and said, "This is like famous people, and this is glamour, and this is wonderful, and I want to go to LA and be a movie star." And I'm thinking, as the weird kid I am, I'm thinking, gee, these people are just these people, nothing special. They're just regular.
That's right too. And where can we find your book, LA Freak, at?
Go to Amazon and type it in, and type in my name or anything like that. Or go to my website, nihilist.net, plural nihilists, because I want people to think there's more than one of us. Anyway, nihilist.net or Amazon, type it in, and it's it's an easy read. It goes fast. It's funny. I hope it'll entertain you.
And certainly will. I've been very entertained as well, too, Elisha, and we hope your readers will be amazed by the book. We're here with author Elisha Shapiro of LA Freak, and also the strong believer in nihilism on the Mike Wagner Show. Elisha, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. And just a couple more things. What else can you expect from me in 2021 and beyond?
Okay, right now I am working on my Nihilist Film Festival. So every year I get this year anyway, I got like 160 submissions from all over the world, including Iran and Pakistan. I got a great one from Pakistan the other day. And so I have to go through, pick out the best, what I think are the best because they're funny and weird. And then every year I put together like a 2-hour show. And usually it's at some like cool little venue in LA. But last year I had to do it online on Vimeo. And so maybe it'll be on Vimeo again. And you can all watch the Nihilist Film Festival from your bathrooms. Anyway.
Bathrooms. I was going to say litter box, but you beat me to it.
So from your bathtub, just hold up your phone and you can watch the Nihilist Film Festival.
Oh, you know something? I think I'll try that afterwards. That's a great idea.
Anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm also working on my Nihilist calendar, which I've done every year for the past 40 years. And so that's a fun little project for me. I have, when I wrote this book, I went through all my stories and I picked out like, a quarter of them that made sense together. And so I do have like a bunch more funny stories that didn't really fit in this book. And so I'm imagining maybe over the next year, I'll try to figure out how to put something together with some other funny stories about me taking drugs and me trying to take drugs and me doing all sorts of wacky things as a kid and as a grown-up.
And believe it or not, we are looking forward to it. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
In what, my career?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you can call it a career. I don't know, maybe. I think my friends in the art world here in LA, my friends from high school who are filmmakers, weird filmmakers, not Hollywood filmmakers. The people who are close to me, I think, inspired me to just kind of do it and get a laugh.
It certainly do. It's amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Being different is good, not bad. And I guess just know that there are other people who are out there who you can connect with who are not normals. We don't want to hang around those normals.
I think I saw something on Facebook. We've been talking about this a lot. They say if you have trouble fitting in, you're meant to stand out, and I think that's true today, especially.
Maybe. So yeah, I mean, I'm getting old, and I've lived a long, happy life, just being that odd bird who is willing to do silly, goofy things that offend other people.
And I have to say this, you've just been totally amazing. And once again, we're with the author Elisha Shapiro of LA Freak here on the Mike Wagner Show. Elisha, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. And looking forward to having you again soon. Just keep us up to date. Love you, have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your book?
Yeah, the best thing is the Nihilist Corner website. And that's nihilist.net. And all that information is there, the calendar, the film festival, the book. You can find it all there. And Amazon is an easy place to type in Elisha Shapiro if you can spell my name. If you just Google Elisha Shapiro, the book pops up pretty fast.
And I'm sure Amazon will be glad to help you on that. You can thank Jeff Bezos for autocorrect, auto-publish, and everything's like, if Jeff Bezos can do it, so can everybody. So
it was a lot easier to do it on Amazon. Just write that book and proofread it, and there you go. I've got a book.
Oh, thank you, Jeff, as well. Once again, Elisha, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep us in touch. And looking forward to have you back as well, too. You've been absolutely terrific.
Thanks.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.